If you've been researching a move to Florida, you've no doubt heard all the great things there are about living here.
But we are here to tell you it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
In this video, we're going to give you 5 things that you're going to need to get over if you want to make Florida your home.
If you're new to our channel, we make all sorts of videos
About moving to Florida.
and all the fun things you can do once you get here.
So make sure you subscribe down below
Give the video a big thumbs up.
and hit that bell so you don't miss any of our episodes,
Especially
when we go live to answer your questions. And if you're in need of a Central Florida realtor, I'm your guy. You can get a hold of me in any of the social medias listed in the description of this video.
So let's talk about the 5 negative things you will need to get over when moving to Florida.
Sunshine, blue skies, it's a state of mind that we came to find. I'm talking about palm trees, we're making memories. I don't wanna leave this sunshine state of mind.
So the first negative thing that you're going to have to get over if you're considering a move to Florida is something that a lot of people actually consider to be a positive, and that is the weather. In Central Florida, the average high temperature is over 70 degrees every single month out of the year. And in June through September, that average high is actually over 90 degrees.
Guys, it's that give and take that I talk about all the time. The take is that we're the only ones sitting here in our bathing suits in the winter, but you gotta give a little bit. In our summers, they are hot.
And one of those things that goes along with the heat is something I'm sure all of you have heard about, and that is the humidity.
You're gonna sweat.
You're gonna sweat a lot. And let me tell you something, that humidity, it doesn't go away at night, does it, Lindsay?
No, it does not.
And you can't even open your windows for the months of May through about October.
And another thing you're gonna have to get used to with the weather is the rain.
That's right, May through October is our rainy season here in Florida, and it rains almost every single day. And it's not your average rain, is it?
No. Our first year here was a pretty typical rainy season, but our second year, oh my goodness, I told Eric a million times, I'm like, I feel like we live in Seattle.
It rained a lot, guys, and it wasn't just your typical afternoon thunderstorm that you hear about all the time in Florida. We had many days last year that it rained all day. And when we do get a thunderstorm, it's not your typical thunderstorm. They are thunder boomers. And we're talking about big lightning storms. And some of you might be excited about that because people like thunderstorms, but some people also don't like them.
So another big one with the weather, guys, you probably already guessed it, it's the hurricanes.
We're in Florida, guys. It's going to happen. And the hurricane season runs from June 1st through November 30th. So it's not short-lived at all.
But the one positive about it is we always have a big heads up.
Yes, we do. And last year was one of the busiest years on record. There was over 30 named storms last year. Now, of course, if you live inland, it's not going to affect you as much as if you live on a coastal town.
And something that you guys are gonna need to be prepared for is staying stocked up because supplies runs out very fast.
Yes, they do. We went to the store, our first hurricane that came here, trying to get prepared, and we were late. We couldn't get water. We couldn't get snacks, we couldn't get batteries, we couldn't get flashlights, and we couldn't even get a generator at any home improvement store.
So our next negative, guys, is one that from time to time I will admit I get a little frustrated with, but I know that Florida needs it. And that is, Florida is everyone's favorite destination spot.
That's true, guys. There's gonna be tourists everywhere, and honestly, it doesn't seem to matter what time of the year. In 2019 alone, over 131 million people visited Florida. Now, of course, that number went down to just over 20 million last year, but that's because of COVID, and we expect that to pick up a lot this next year. Tourists are going to be everywhere, guys. They're going to be on the roads, they're going to be on the beaches, they're going to be in the grocery stores, and they could even be renting a house in your neighborhood. So if you're trying to find a home in Florida, keep that in mind because tourists are generally not in a hurry, which can be kind of frustrating when you're trying to just go about your everyday life.
But the bottom line is, guys, is that Florida thrives off tourism. So it's something that we need.
And like I alluded to earlier, tourists could be in your neighborhood, renting the home next door, and can be very inconsiderate and might not even care that it's a Tuesday night and your kids have to go to school the next day.
So with all that being said, guys, just keep the tourism in mind when you are finding your forever neighborhood. So this next one we're gonna talk about, guys, is all the wildlife, the critters, and all the bugs.
If you don't like all the little, and sometimes not so little, friends that we share this earth with, Florida might not be the right place for you.
But some of you, this might be a really big attraction as to why you're moving here.
So of course we have the larger animals that you hear about all the time. The alligators, the sharks, the bears, panthers even. But it's the smaller animals that actually are the ones that give people the most problems.
So we're talking about the insects. They can be really problematic here in Florida.
We're talking fire ants, cockroaches, guys, ones that fly, right?
That's crazy.
And spiders. People don't like spiders. And on top of insects, guys, Florida, in case you didn't know, also has snakes. 6 species that are actually even venomous. So make sure you know and are able to identify different snakes before you move here. And on top of all the land animals in Florida, you can't forget about our friends in the sea as well. There's some things there people are scared of too.
Like sharks and jellyfish.
And I can tell you, I've been stung by a jellyfish. No fun.
But along with the bad, there's also that sea life that everyone loves, like manatees and dolphins.
All right, guys, so our next negative is something that I almost guarantee you've already heard about, and that is that the pay rate here in Florida is probably lower than the pay rate in your current state. Go ahead and search average salaries for certain jobs in Florida compared to where you're at now. Florida's probably gonna be lower. No matter what website you look at, Florida ranks in about the bottom third for pay wages compared to other states. That being said, Florida also ranks in the top half for cost of living. So you can kind of see the imbalance there. When you're looking at jobs online and see a certain salary listed, that doesn't mean that you can't ask for a little bit more. Know your strengths, know what you're worth, and be able to sell yourself to these employers, and don't sell yourself short. And something that goes hand in hand with the pay rate is the cost of housing. Now, although housing costs may seem a little bit more expensive in Florida than some of the states that people are moving from, there are also many financial advantages to living within the state.
First off, there's no state income tax.
And there's also low property tax compared to many of the northern states. I'm talking to you, New York, also talking to you, Illinois. And I know all of you are saying everything in Florida is so expensive. Anything I want to do is so expensive to get into. Well, I'm telling you, there's many great advantages and discounts given to Florida residents to get into these attractions. So keep that in mind.
And something Eric and I have always suggested to you guys is make a mock budget.
Figure out what your expenses are going to be in Florida. We're talking about things like your housing bills, electricity bills, water bills, and an important one, your car insurance, because most likely that is going to be going up. Know exactly what your bills are going to be in Florida and know exactly what you're going to get paid. That way when you come here, you know what to expect and you know how much money is going to be left over at the end of each month, making it easy to tell if you're going to succeed.
So some of you that have been following Eric and I for a while are probably shocked that I haven't mentioned these two already. But I'm actually going to combine 2 into 1. I have talked about this time and time again. We've even made a few videos on it, and that is the school and healthcare. So guys, these two are falling into our negative category, but not because it's necessarily a negative. It's just different. And I have talked about that time and time again, that different doesn't always mean bad. But you definitely are going to have to advocate at the schools and do your research with the healthcare.
And to elaborate on the subject, we're not necessarily saying that the education and healthcare in Florida are bad or negative. We're just saying it's going to be something that's different probably than what you're used to. So just know that you're going to have to adapt to the way that Florida does things.
And guys, with a little bit of work, it can be done, I promise you. So guys, you made it through this list. And those of you who know Eric and I, we like to always give you the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between so that you can be prepared for your move to Florida.
We hope that you enjoyed the video, and as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.